So whenever you want to start.
What up, YouTube? This is the Frontier Friends. I'm Artie. This is James. And a couple weeks ago, we talked about, paying tribute to, in my opinion, the best goddamn anime manga writer ever, Taro Miura.
Yeah.
He does probably one of my favorite, matter of fact, my only favorite Berserk manga. And we're back here. We figured, since you guys actually watched that video a lot, we're going to do you guys a favor and talk some more about it. Today, we're going to talk about the most amped up moments in the series. So, after this, feel free to comment in the section what was your favorite part. But we'll start it off with, what do you think, James? I mean, what do you think? What's the part that gets you wild and ready to go and stuff?
Alright, probably not at the time, but watching it back again, I think when we had the first Guts and Griffin kind of fight, because Guts didn't back down, and I liked when Griffin kind of has them
in the arm bar. He had it locked up for his shoulder.
Yeah, he had his shoulder up, and Griffin's like, hey, it makes no difference to me, I'll break it. And Guts is just like,
do it.
Kind of called him out, like, F you. And then he's just like, snaps it. And then you wake up and you're like, and he's just like,
like, well, I own you now, so you have to go back in place and get you to work. I was like, holy smokes. Yeah, no, that was an intense scene right there because, prior to that, Griffith was, typical rapier fencer, pairing and moving, and he actually managed to get Guts in a situation where, Guts could be killed instantly, but Guts showed why.
He's still surprised, though.
Oh, he's still surprised.
When he bit the sword.
He put the sword in his mouth and held on until, his mouth started bleeding. I was like, whoa. See, like that right there got my attention. That's not even the coolest part of it, though. My part that I fell in love with in the Golden Age era was when they took Doldrum. That was prior to them being marked as what's the term? They're considered first-class citizens because of
nobles?
Yeah, they automatically have the title of nobles, so they can do their work basically. It was Guts fight for Doldrum. Guts takes down one of the toughest generals.
General Bassan or something like that?
Boss something. He was like the head dude for that the pedophile.
What was his name?
Yeah, whoever his name is, I don't know.
Griffith's old guy.
Speaking of which, Griffith and that guy had an intense moment when they found out what Griffith did to get the supplies for his army.
I remember just watching it, and I'm like, oh man, they're showing this stuff. Even in Griffin dealing with what he did and stuff, I'm like, oh man, they're exploring these themes, and dang.
Like I said, and that's even for an anime, that's intense. That's really stepping right up to the line.
Exactly.
As far as wait, you're really gonna talk about him doing that? He's like, hey, he had to do what he had to do. What he had to do.
Yeah.
But no. Back to Boss Gone. Guts versus Boss Gone. I didn't like the anime version of it. It just seemed really lazy. I mean, stuff like that. When you see when you see Guts fight Zod for the first time, that was intense. But then you see Guts fight the general. I mean, I get it. How do you make him as intense as Guts fight the giant apostle? That's damn near impossible. But I feel like they could do something better with it. But the movie version, granted, a lot of you guys don't like the movie. A lot of us Berserk fans don't care for the movie animations. You got to give them respect because that fight was intense. That was good. And I mean, hey, nobody else wanted any part of that fight. They stepped back and let them handle their business.
Well, he was the last human that could go toe-to-toe with Guts.
Yeah.
So for after that, we really hadn't seen anybody
go
where Guts is in danger.
Yeah, well, it was never a fight where Guts was at a stalemate. It wasn't like this.
Yes.
Him and Boss Gone were doing this. No one else in the series, in my opinion, can't do it.
I mean, human-wise, there's been apostles that were pretty,
There's some apostles but even some apostles don't even mess with him. There's one other human that does it, Psylocke. I don't know, I think they're from the Kushan Empire. Basically, you guys know what we're talking about again. This guy, he held his own, but I think once he realized what he was actually about to go up against, he was like, probably going to be a plan. This is not going to be Yeah, but that's for me, that's the golden age. I think the one thing I would like to point out is that the movie series and the anime, this is where they fall short. There is a scene in the manga, there's a cut out in the manga of a group of men known as the Black Dog Knights. Now I'm telling you, these guys are savages. They're like these guys are nuts. I'm talking about the only rule they have. I don't even think they even have any rules. They just do what they want.
Yeah.
They just do what they want. I'm like, so wait, what's the rules? Like, oh, just leave people for the leader, which the leader turned out to be an apostle. You know, I just feel like I guess I can see why they left him out. You know, he was a bit extreme.
Well, it made the anime simpler, and I mean, they didn't have really time. Then they had to, introduce like more adult themes, so they're like cut them out. I got it.
Yeah.
But when you read the manga, you're like, oh, okay,
Well,
we're going there.
That's true. And I think, without a doubt, I gotta say this, and it's your turn. I'm just chewing up the time. I'm sorry. I think one of the best, Berserk has one of the best turning points in any manga, hands down, which was the eclipse. Once again, for all you Berserkers out there, you guys know what I'm talking about. For all you non-people, I suggest you go watch. You know, if you don't want any spoilers, I'm giving you a warning right now, I'm going to tell you. Basically, Griffith, after their great Guts' second fight with Griffith, where, he gets defeated, and it's not going well for him, it's not fair. Griffith, kind of succumbs to his emotions and kind of does something stupid. He basically gets with the princess. He gets caught in the process, so he gets tortured. The Band of the Hawk gets disbanded.
That's another good moment on the hill, where like Guts is leaving, has the grain of rice, has a sword. And it's not even as we only see him use that sword like once or twice.
Once or twice, I think we see it like
because the other one broke, and then he gets the Dragon Slayer later.
Well, no, he gets his original sword broke because he's fighting Boss Gon.
Yes.
Then Zod gives him his sword, but he never used it.
But he has
But then he gets a new one.
New one that's more, I don't know, you call it gothic.
It has like the horns on the.
Yeah.
It's got a hilt
yes.
with a guard, but I mean it didn't make any difference because usually he ends up breaking his opponent's sword anyways.
But I just liked that fight where he's like heading out, he drops the grain. He's like, all right, let's do it. And then that's where we see Griffith's inside his thinking, where he's like, he's gonna go high like he always does. And Guts is just like on it, breaks the sword. You got Casca like forgetting where she is, and then Judo corrects her like, hey, have you forgotten like who we are?
Where do we come from?
Exactly.
You just don't let all this fancy
Everyone's
clothing.
like posted up. That was nuts.
It was good because
you got the girl
Pippin,
like being
Judo.
emotional, and then like it's like one person like.
It's like Big Pippin kind of moved her. She's like, "What are you doing?" Judo's like,
even Corcus is like.
Corcus like, I never liked you. Like
asshole, just like he took notice too. Like, what's gonna happen?
He's just like, well, and then, but it was nuts though, because even that scene they built that up so good.
They did do it.
Because like like Judo is saying, all right, bye. Pippin's just all right, cool. Ruckus is just chilling. Casca doing like you said, she's doing the thing. What's his name? Is it who's the guy who don't like Guts? Is it Corcus? Who's the little kid? Pippin. No, it's Pippin. Oh,
we know who you're talking about.
Yeah, we know. Hey, just for you fans out there, it's just it's been a while, but but no, yeah, Corcus tells me you don't like him, but then even then, I was still shocked when it's like it shows Griffith like pull his sword out. I told you. He tells him, I told you if you wanted to leave, you had to fight for your freedom. And I was like, is he serious right now?
Yeah.
And then Guts, and then that's one of the few narrations I like from Casca. She's like, Griffith always wins, he's never gonna stop. And then she pauses for a second, she goes, Guts, he's gotten so strong. I was just like, hey, look, man, I don't know. But no, that was a powerful moment. But for me, what got me on Berserk was the turning point when it went from medieval like climbing the ladder, like the hero story.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep going, we're gonna make it. And man, I'm telling you, when it jumped from like medieval heroism to dark fantasy, that got me hooked. I was like, holy! I honestly thought it was a dream. That when I first watched the anime, I thought it was a dream. I was like, that didn't just happen for real. And then like the ending scene is Guts putting that Dragon Slayer on his back, and he's got the eye out, he's got the mechanical arm, and I was like, that happened.
Yeah.
Everybody just got eaten alive by demons for a ritual, a sacrifice.
You're kind of lost because you watch the first episode and you're like, what's going on? And then you get to like, you know, the golden age and you're like, oh, okay. And you
Yeah.
kind of forget about the first episode because you're like, how do we get here? And then you like at the end, you're like, oh, you know, after the eclipse, you're like, now the first episode makes sense. Now it makes sense.
But even then, once again, where the anime fell short,
Yeah.
they didn't explain how he made it. They didn't explain nothing. I'm telling you, man, that man. Look,
Yeah, you got to do the manga, but the anime, you know, it hooked me in. I'm not gonna
the
lie.
anime. Hey, you gotta give the anime props. It was the
Gateway for me.
It was it was the gateway. It was just like, okay, so now but then I remember you telling me like, no, read the manga. I'm like, well, I'm just gonna see 2. Well, they don't, but no, like, even if you get into the manga, go back and start from the beginning. They left a whole bunch of stuff out, and I went back and watched it. And there's, man, like basically like the whole first like part is almost its own arc.
Oh yeah.
It's literally like Guts in the middle of hunting demon. Well, he's seducing a demon. I mean, like a demon was actually seducing him. It's a woman. You know, they're doing their thing.
They know.
Yeah, they're doing their thing. All of a sudden, it's a demon. I was like, what am I looking at?
Well, yeah, it was like reminded me of some Army of Darkness. Where he
Yeah.
just pulls out the gun like, hey.
He's like, yeah, he's like, actually, no, because I got you.
Yeah.
And I know, he knew, you guys know what we're saying. It was great. I was like, all right, I'm hooked. and
We
then
haven't even talked about like his first encounter with Zod, the 100-man slaying.
the 100-man fight,
That
dude.
was cool.
Golly.
They built that up good.
That was phenomenal. Like, dude, this is good stuff. I mean, but hey, but that's it for part 1. You know, I said part 1. You know, we get part 2 here. So we get it uploaded. If you like the video, please comment. Tell us what your part was that get you guys fired up.
Yeah.
Again, I'm Marty. This is James. Frontier Friends. Be easy.